Gamers, gals, and my non-binary pals. Yesterday was a very occasionous day. It was a blessed day for you and I, because the Yu-Gi-Oh! Ban list finally dropped. Who is happy? Well, apparently not Twitter, because holy hell, a lot of people had very strong opinions about the ban list, me included. I said that it was a cute ban list, but it just doesn't really change that much. The unfortunate reality is that just a lot of decks didn't really get hit that hard, so I think that people kind of being like, OMG, this is the ban list that saves Yu-Gi-Oh! Or OMG, this ban list sucks, are both being like very hyperbolic. I think it's a fine ban list that just unfortunately didn't really address the main problem. I was wrong. I'll fully admit that I was wrong in regards to thinking that Konami would be way more heavy-handed on stuff like this. It was very clear in my personal friend group that nothing like the Diabell Star or the Snake Eye cards were gonna get hit because A, the Megatons haven't come out yet and they want to sell those, and B, Azamina, who has very strong connections to like the Diabell Star, the OSS stuff, that stuff hasn't been released yet, so we are still going to probably have to wait for those to release before, Konami decides to axe it. We've got the Schmitterson. Overall great bans. Feedsmith hit way harder than I ever expected, which is good. Lots of great limits. Anyway, skipping the battle phase of my next YCS. Have fun not having access to Lacrima Burn. Never mind, I thought about it. It's 5 out of 10 max. Not missing much, but the most important stuff is missing after all. My initial reaction is up on YouTube now, although I'll probably be able to put my thoughts into words better. Okay, but when's the next one though? This is kind of like the main opinion that a lot of people had in regards to like the main deck, and then you kind of realize like the main deck is still very good. Like, look at this. Hey y'all, brewing in the new format. I think I'm onto something. Let me know if you have feedback for my rogue brew. And then it's just Snake Eye. Triple Bonfire still exists. You go back to playing 1-for-1. You have just Skill Drain. Skill Drain still legal for some reason. Why wasn't it banned? Who knows? Like, the deck lost like a little bit of consistency and a little bit of its grind. Why are you playing Double Oak? That's an insane person tech. But at the end of the day, it's still like a crazy deck. At the end of the day, it's still Snake Eye. You just have access to like one less normal summon, and like even so you just lose access to like 4 normal summons, which isn't actually that bad because like you don't really want a normal Poplar. Snake Eye Ash is like the only card you actually really want a normal summon in this deck. It's like the main deck just didn't get hit at all. It just never mattered. Just got Gimmick Puppeted twice during testing the new format. I don't know, man. Did you know that this deck still has a 1-card combo? Like the field spell is still a 1-card combo. You just do like the rank up magic stuff a little bit earlier, and like it's not as forgiving. You can just be like, whoop, 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 whoop. It just doesn't matter. This deck is broken. I can't understand the philosophy of this list. I want to understand it so badly. I hate complaining all the time, but leaving Sanctifier legal after we saw winning games with Gimmick Puppet on stream is just truly don't get it. That's like the actual #1 thing where I've been like, why is branded still a deck? Crazy, right? This shit is still insanely consistent. Like literally nothing changed. I'm a puppet lock just for fun and I have a spreadsheet of over 90 combos to puppet through hand traps and board breakers. And it's just like, yeah, here's the entire branded list. It's so good. Here's branded, like branded and high spirits. Fusion duplication is now just like the greatest thrust target of all time. You get Ash on branded fusion. It's just like, I guess I'll go fuck myself. Like the fact that Sanctifier is still legal is just one of the most headache inducing things of this entire ban list, because you know for a fact you're gonna go to your locals on like Tuesday or Wednesday when after the ban list and be like, oh gee, new list, like I can't wait to not play Snake Eye for a couple weeks, and like you sit down, your opponent activates like Branded and High Spirits and you want to fucking shoot yourself, and you're just like, well, should have played around it, I guess. I should have been playing Herald of Greenlight, should have been playing like 12 Bystials. The fact that they alluded to it could be one last hurrah for these decks when they knew community sentiment was at an all-time low, player attendance at events was below 50% what they were last time, only to not hit those decks meaningfully should make people far more upset. That is true. I think a lot of people kind of went into YCS Sacramento being like, all right, you know, this event may suck dog dick, but at the very least, we could have one more event. But this is like the last event for the deck. We don't have to worry about anything massive in that regards. We could just fucking sit back, relax, and we could just enjoy Snake Eyes like last day. It's his last day of the sun, just let him have it. And then Konami's like, but what if we had 4 more months? I feel like this is a turning point, sadly. Why would I continue to play the game when other games have better pricing and overall battle health? I love Yu-Gi-Oh, but I hate this format. I've been playing since 2015. The thing that makes this format so incredibly frustrating is the fact that the dice roll and your opening hand are so incredibly important that if you just even open suboptimally and you're against like Snake Eye and they go like normal summon Ash, you like lose the game on the spot. There's literally nothing you as a player are able to do in that regards. It's not like a skill expression issue. It's not like a deck building issue because decks are playing like 20 to 25 hand traps, which is like absurd that decks are even going over 20 hand traps in the first place. It's just a very frustrating experience to be like, oh, I guess I just drew the wrong combination of hand traps, or I guess I drew all starters, so I lose the game. It's just like bleh. Same for me. I didn't play the entire Snake Eye format because it was too expensive. I just waited for the list to decide to see if I stick with the game or to swap to One Piece /Lorcana. Yeah, like one of my good friends, Gilbert, he's like a kid who I've known since like 2017. He's been playing like Yu-Gi-Oh like on and off, and he like was just like, yeah, fuck it, I'm just not playing Yu-Gi-Oh anymore, I'm gonna play Lorcana. And now he's busy playing the fucking red deck. I don't know, the deck with like the dude from Moana. I heard that deck's good. And he has like 3 prize card wins. He's got like $1,800 in prizing because of the prize cards. And like that's more than every YCS winner combined. Like let's be fucking real with ourselves. Like people are just so sick of the current format. Nobody wants to play a format where turns take this long because you're doing a fuck ass Snake Eye Fiend Smith combo. It takes like 5 to 10 minutes to resolve. Like I know it's like the classic Yugi Boomer meme with like,
OMG, combo turn take too long. I hate women or something like that.
This is like one of the formats where combos actually do take way too long, and it's just like a very frustrating to be on like the receiving end of it, and your opponent's playing on your turn because they're like oh, Princess pop Flamberge, Flamberge one, like Flamberge affecting Grave, and then Snake Eye 1, Poplar 2, and then you go bang, 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 bang. It's just like this very fuck ass experience. It's not fun. It's not fun. It's not interesting. Like this is why like people are just so frustrated with this format. What's Scarlon say? Deleting my big post about the ban list? No, I needed to farm you for drama. No, I needed the drama. No! Does anyone have like an image of it? Damn, literally nothing. Fuck, it's deleted. Deleting my big post about the ban list. I need some time to think about my relationship with this game and what's gonna happen moving forward. When Scarlon, the number one person, the number one individual, where she on a daily basis like, I'm going to quit Yu-Gi-Oh! And immediately comes back like the next week because they release Sacred Beast and Master Duel. That, when she of all people is genuinely considering quitting the TCG, and her relationship with this game, that's how you know when something's gone wrong. The certified number one Twitter yapper. Does it help that the ban list didn't do enough? As Amina is gonna fix the consistency hits that Snake Eyes just got? Yeah. And it lets it play through hand traps because like every Omni negate that was completely generic got removed. Like no more Barone, no more Borreload Savage, and now like no more Appaloosa for like 4 weeks maybe. But it's still gonna be very silly because Yubel's still going to have Verugis, the rank 10. Snake Eye is just gonna get the Azamina stuff. So they can play through hand traps, they can be part of their end board. They think their opponent doesn't have any hand traps. It's a very silly, frustrating, dumbass experience. Y'all upset over Barone when it did nothing wrong. Too many people cry about not wanting to play through an end board. If you got better at the game and learned how to do that, you'd be fine. Generic negates are fine and should be promoted. No, absolutely not. 100% no. Yeah, but what if the generic negates are just too good? What if I just end on literally infinite generic negates because I'm playing Drytron, or I'm playing Adamancipator, or I'm playing like 2020 Spiral. Generic negates, super heavy samurai entered the chat. Actually, that fucking deck was the mental terrorism. I think ever since Super Heavy Samurai, Konami's been like, all right, maybe we should stop. Maybe we should start weeding off the degenerate bullshit in regards to generic negates and that sort of jazz. But yeah, yugioh, like you're a cool guy, but some of your takes are kind of silly. Konami saw this deck breakdown at Euros and decided to leave Snake Eye unhit and ban Gimmick Puppet into unplayability. Yeah, like Gimmick Puppet's still not like a crazy good deck, but it's A, still playable technically, actually. And B, yeah, like Snake Eye is still just like the objective best deck. Nothing changed. Unplayable mean can't do the FTK as their only play. Okay, this is an FTK deck. This is literally the only thing the deck has. What do you mean unplayable? If I make a deck whose whole strat is to summon level 9 monsters and to overlay into a VFD, and I ban the VFD, like no shit, this deck is gonna fucking suck.
Like, oh my god, I can't believe that Salamangreat is unplayable even though I printed 20 copies of Dimension Shifter.
Like motherfucker, it doesn't change anything. It's the same fucking deck. You can still play it. It's like the only viable deck. And B, you can still play it. You can still fucking play the deck. Shut the Rogue tweet on the timeline made a point that Catapult Turtle is still unbanned, so there is still an FTK around. There's always gonna be an FTK around. Gimmick Puppet FTK is still around. The brainworms that support Shifter will never do well at Yu-Gi-Oh! In their life. Sorry, not sorry. You're bad. What the fuck? Shifter is never gonna get banned if decks like Snake Eye exist. Shifter is never gonna get banned, period. Shifter is a card that Konami wants to print. And like, I'll say it, is relatively healthy for the game. In large quotations. It's not like healthy for the game, but it's a card that should exist within the game. It is a card that allows players to play strategies that aren't completely homogenous or parallel with each other. You can't just be like, I'm going to play Salamangreat or Marincess or Tearlament or Horus, Gimmick Puppet or Snake Eye or Light Sword, because like these all decks basically function around the same idea of forming this weird resource loop in regards to, you know, shuffling shit into your graveyard infinitely and having like this infinite money glitch of infinite resources and constant being able to like add back of like Wanted and OSS and like recycling off of Flamberge and Repretia and blah 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 blah. Like all these decks in the past couple of years have basically revolved around the same sort of resource loop and strategy. And I'll be real, it is refreshing as a person who mainly plays like rogue decks or decks for fun to see a card that is purposely designed to hit these decks in some massive capacity. It enables a different type of play style, like how Flu and Monarchs bar you from the next deck summoning. Exactly. You are going to be playing an objectively worse deck. Your deck is going to be objectively worse because you're not able to take advantage of the 500 billion other types of graveyard support that exist within the game. Like you can't do Vertisilph combos if you play Shifter and Madolche. Blah blah blah. You get the idea. The big thing is that that's a trade-off. It's okay to make trade-offs in your fucking game plan. Like it's okay to make trade-offs when it comes to printing cards like this. Like I know it's very frustrating to be like, oh well, the trade-off is that I can't play the game. Like I don't know how to tell you this. This is kind of a necessary step in Konami's direction in regards to the game is moving so fast that there is literally nothing we can do. This is your new god now, and it's just like pointing to a picture of like Dimension Shifter or Di-Fi. Like that's just the reality of the scenario. There is just no way to fairly limit graveyard decks. You guys remember like Silent Graveyard? That card fucking sucked penis. DD Crow is not going to be live or as impactful in every matchup. Bystials aren't going to be live or as impactful as every matchup. Sometimes you just gotta be like, fuck it. And the design team just like be like, fuck it. Are we making an objectively unhealthy and unfair card for certain archetypes? Yes. Is it very frustrating to play against and lose to? Absolutely yes, because Yu-Gi-Oh has no fucking mulligans or Force of Vigor. But it's literally the only solution that we have. And Konami is on like two sides of the spectrum where they either just hyper promote graveyard decks and just be like, all right, we're gonna make Tearlament 2 like Electric Boogaloo, or they're gonna be like, all right, maybe we should have some sort of dichotomy within our decks and be like, maybe Flu should exist in some capacity, maybe Ritual Beast should exist in some capacity, blah 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 blah. Remember Gravekeeper Inscription? I bought like 20 of those and that shit never did anything relevant. I'm so depressed. Malice is kind of cool for that. You can play Shifter, but 90% of the generic cyber stuff is offline. Exactly. This is why Malice is a fair archetype. It's not that good, but it's fair because like, yeah, you can play Shifter and like synergize, but you give up on a lot of the generic cyber stuff that makes, you know, cyber this annoying fuck ass pile. Yeah, anyways, Snake Eye Ash effect. Yes. Willy into Charizard, Mickey Mouse, Reggie Drago, Bibarel. Anyways, this is like the little Banlist Twitter discussion breakdown. I personally am not a fan of the list, but holy shit, some people are definitely losing their fucking minds over this list killed my family and shot my dog. Anyways, let me know what your guys' thoughts are on all of this and, you know, the Banlist as a whole. Do you feel like you're gonna be moving forward with the game? What are your thoughts on Shifter? By the way, chat, if any of you guys, when I get reinstated, which is soon, allegedly according to Konami, when I get reinstated, let me sign a copy of Di-Fi or Shifter. Shifter's now my new favorite card. I'm gonna make a binder full of QCRs. But thank you guys for being here. And of course, see you in the next one.